Today I'd like to talk about language, mostly the power that language has. Language is expression, expressing yourself in any sort of way. Um, Language doesn't necessarily mean English, it means a form of expression. Expression could be non-verbal as well as verbal. So sometimes when you talk about language and you go into the specifics of how a language is expressed, such as the infant learning to express herself in a certain mother tongue, we are thinking as a whole the way of expression, its language. That could include the tone of the voice, it could include the gestures that go with it, it could also include the level of high or lowness of the voice. So voice is a very good vessel to express language. Of course, language could also be expressed without having voice, such as in the case of people who don't speak, they're mute, and they could still express themselves in gestures or symbols. Uh, Today we are specifically discussing the power of language, which means as we express ourselves and we expect to be understood, which is the goal of language, is the goal of expression, is for us to be communicating with someone and be understood. We have to understand the power that our words have and our language has. This power is often um, disregarded and also often misused. Um, I specifically want to talk about positive language and how language could be used to empower others rather than put them down or criticize them. That would be very good if you're raising children, but also in the adult world, in the business world. It's very important to have the correct way of communicating and using the power of language to your benefit. So we don't want to go into the phonics and semantics of language because that is another subject, but rather we want to talk about words, tonality, gestures that go with our expressions. These words can be used to heal others, to actually um, empower others, and also get them in favor of what you are expressing, get them to cooperate. It could be used in the business world as well as personal relationships. So that is our specific goal today. When we talk about communication, which we use in every field of science, psychology, sociology, English education, any field, we could use this power to reinforce our message and get more cooperation from others. So, how do we do that? Number one is when you use your language, make sure that you are calm enough and you are in the energy of present moment and not seem distracted, not seem you're looking for the next words or next subject. Be in the moment as you are expressing. That is the most important, to be present, but also to be real, to be authentic. We don't want to talk phony baloney that we don't believe ourselves. We expect others to believe it and cooperate with it. So we really have to believe what we are communicating. And that means authenticity. Be authentic. What you're communicating, you believe in. It should be easy to bring that across to others. Communication also has to deliver the meaning. So that's important. What do I mean to communicate to others? I need to bring that into the language. So, of course, sometimes we prepare in advance. Our goal, for example, for this talk, I had in advance thought about my goal, what I wanted to communicate in a few minutes, make sure I get that message across. So, communicate the meaning to others through your language, but also in the process, have the energy of presence and have the authentic message that you believe in. Once you pay attention to these three factors, then music becomes then your communication becomes music to someone's ear. They could actually see the vibration, feel the vibration, feel the energy, and they get drawn to you. They want to hear the next thing you have to say. They also can't stop listening to you. I get that all the time, and people say to me, I have never said this much to others, or I have never listened so carefully to others. But they get drawn to that language that possesses those three things. Now, you communicate your message to the person. You always allow the person to absorb, to process. You don't bombard people with so many messages that they are overwhelmed. Always, especially when you deal with children, but even people you don't know, just make sure you give them enough time to process what you're saying. So, deliberate and slow communication. And also, in the communication that you have designed, put some words of encouragement. Encouragement can never be enough. There is never enough encouragement. When you think about our world today, there is a lot of negative messages, there is a lot of criticism, but what we really want to instill in others is that they are good, that they are doing the right thing, that their efforts are paying off, and that is encouragement. And how do we relay encouragement? Simply with words. Of course, remember, we have to be authentic about it. So if we are giving someone the message that I can give you examples, but I talk in general term. When we give someone a message and we expect them to do something for us, you always let them know that there is no failure. That no matter how they decide to do that, they will be correct. And even if they did fail, that's only a lesson learned. In fact, success is a bunch of failures. At the end, something results in success. So success is a combination of a bunch of failures. So there is no failure. The language is encouraging. The language is also quiet and calm and gives the person an opportunity to process it. You always allow time for questions. If someone has a understanding of something or doesn't, you need to, by looking at them, realize if they have processed it or not, and accordingly proceed. You don't want to proceed if they haven't understood what you just said. Just continue piling up more information. So be in tune with their non-verbal language as well as yours. Now, how do we get our words to be more powerful, which is the subject of this discussion? Power comes from